Hi guys, I'm James and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Trek China. I think today I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, get to know each other a little better. I'm going to tell you where we are today, and then also I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do in the future. Alright, so today I'm in the beautiful county of Yunyang in Chongqing, and this is a place called Yangtze, like the Riverside Park. And my plan is we're going to walk like 2 kilometers that way, and then the final aim is we're going to climb the what they call the city ladder, which is 1,999 steps, which leads to the top of the highest mountain in the city area here. Okay, so I'm sure you're all thinking, who the hell is this guy? So let me tell you a little bit about my story here. I'm sure you can tell from my accent that I am from England, more specifically the East Midlands area. In my younger days, I never thought or imagined, I would come and live in China, or even come and travel here, to be honest. In my younger days in the English Midlands, China or speaking Chinese was such a distant, alien concept to us, I think in those days we did have a lot of curiosity, specifically towards the language, in those days, I'm kind of talking the 80s and the 90s, we used to have a lot of, like Cantonese restaurants, a lot of takeouts, mostly run by people from Hong Kong in those days. I think in my younger days, we didn't typically see so many mainlanders there. It's a completely different situation today. But I always remember, looking at the menus or at the signs on the door in these really fancy, Chinese characters, and yeah, it always filled me, at least myself, with curiosity. How can people read this? And then I remember watching a couple of travel programs on the TV in my younger days, particularly the Three Gorges cruise, and this was before the dam was built. Yeah, and I just thought, that looks amazing. I just wish that one day, I'll get the chance to go there myself. It wasn't really until my final year that out of the blue, the opportunity came along, and I never imagined, I had no plans to leave the country. But I saw an advertisement, I think I can say their name in this video, the British Council. I don't know if they still run this programme. We've really lost contact over the past 15 or 20 years. But I saw an advertisement one day, purely by chance, and what it was, they were looking for recent graduates or upcoming graduates to apply to their Teach in China program. And I think the basic idea is that when you apply for it, if you get accepted, they choose a place in China, like a city that's quite suited to you in their and your own opinion. And when you come here, they give you a work placement at a local Chinese school. And during that year, you don't have a really big workload. I remember in my first years in Chongqing, I had maybe about 20 lessons a week, and with one year group as well. And the advantage with that is that you only have to produce one lesson plan per week, and then you just repeat it to all of the classes. Yeah, and that gives you a lot of extra time, a lot of free time. You can go out into the city, have a good time, go and explore what's there. During the holidays, you can travel around China. You have lots of opportunity to make friends. I was very interested in learning Chinese because when I was at university back in England, I actually studied French. But ironically, after I graduated, I basically didn't speak another word of French after that. I came to China originally for 1 year, that turned into 2 years. I got married, that's a question for later. And even 20 years later, I barely used the language, and I learned, Chinese instead. Why did I apply at that time? I had no idea for what I was going to do after university. I had no kind of, career plan, arranged, for me or anything. So I just thought, yeah, let's go for it. I applied for it. I met, the basic requirements, of course. They invited me to an interview in Trafalgar Square, where the headquarters are. And the interview went very well. No great problems. And one of the big questions towards the end was, where in China do you want to go and work? Because they sent as English teachers, ESL teachers, to cities all around China. I remember in that year, not only was there Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, the three main big cities, but also I remember there was some people who went to Qingdao, like Fuzhou in Fujian province, but then also Chengdu and Chongqing in like Sichuan and Chongqing municipality. So why did I choose this place? Well, there were 2 points that we focused on. One, which I thought was quite interesting, is that my home city has a sister city agreement that's been in place with Chongqing since 1993. And then the second one, in all seriousness, they asked me, do you like eating spicy food? And I suppose this could be an influence from my mother. She really loves spicy food. So from a very early age, back in England, I really ate a lot of, spicy like Indian food, and also really got into like Mexican as well. That's really popular. And that's really stayed with me until the present day. So based on that, they recommended I go to either Chongqing or Sichuan. Now, to be honest, the name Chongqing I had never heard my entire life. So I was kind of orientated towards Chengdu because I didn't know about the pandas at that time. I did actually have like one friend, or I suppose like a colleague. It just happens that she spent a year in China in the past, and she said the experience was amazing and you should like really go for it. Yeah, so that gave me a lot of encouragement. And then also I had a family friend who travelled to Chengdu, I don't know, quite a long time ago, maybe like in the 80s or the 90s, because he used to work in the textiles industry and he was looking for local factories to produce garments for him. And he said, yeah, I mean, my impressions of Chengdu were pretty good. So based on that, I said, okay, I want to go to Chengdu and put Chongqing second. But I think apparently too many people had the same idea. So what happened was they called me up and they said, there were too many people wanting to go to Chengdu, would you be willing to give Chongqing a try? And I'm sure you'll learn, like doing my videos here, that I'm pretty easygoing. I'm a pretty easygoing person, so I just said there and then, yeah, right, let's just go for it. And everything was really good. I thought the place was very lively, people were very friendly. I really loved the food. Yeah, the students were very good. They didn't give me too much of a hard time. So 1 year quickly turned into 2 years. And it was kind of around the time that I was preparing a contract extension. I'm going to show you the Yangtze River in a moment, just over there. We'll take this little path will get us closer. Okay, it was just around the time I was applying for an extension to my contract with the school that I kind of met a nice local lady. I'm sure you get a chance to meet her one day in the future. She's a little bit camera shy, so it's going to take a little bit of coaxing. One of the most popular dishes, one of the most famous dishes of Chongqing or the region in general is hot pot. And there's a little version of it which they call, chuan chuan huo guo. So it's basically, you don't have the big wok in the middle that everybody shares. You have your own like little private wok on an electric cooker. But anyway, I remember that year I helped a student take part in a competition from the. But anyway, 1 year, one of them actually won the competition, and another year, somebody actually came second. And as a way of thanking me, they took me to this really nice restaurant, which is close to Chongqing University. And I thought, this place is really nice. I'm going to take one of my British friends along with me next time. So about 2 weeks later, I invited a Scottish friend who was like working in the same district as me to go to that place. And kind of during the middle of the meal, the boss came over. I'd met him before from that previous occasion. It was a guy from Taiwan. And he said, oh, no, we've got this young lady over here. No, she really wants to come and sit with you, maybe practice some English and make friends. Would that be okay? And this is the Yangtze River behind me. That's the main Yangtze River bridge there. And on the other side, there are a couple of famous landmarks, but they've got the Jiangfei temple. And his temple was actually moved to that spot over there. From its original position because the Yangtze rose so much after the dam was completed. She came along, she sat with us. I just thought, she's very cute. So towards the end of the meal, I said, can we exchange numbers? Around August, out of the blue, my phone rang. And it was her, and she said, oh, are you interested in meeting up again? So we set up a little date. We went to the Tsuchiko Old Town area in Xiaopingba. I'm sure we'll go there together one day. I'll show you around. We met again a couple of times more, and before we knew it, we were kind of a couple. This is like a really nice feature of Yunyang, like the Riverside Park in Yunyang, that I really like. And I'm sure like the local kids here have a great time here. I mean, they've got this climbing frame with a pool at the bottom. The summer's over now, so I don't think they're going to be playing in that until next year. But this is something I really love. They've got the Sunshine Beach, and this is pretty big. And when the kids are not at school, when the weather's pretty nice, I think they could just come down here, and as long as there isn't a big event going on, they can just play to their heart's content here. It's like when I came to China in the first place. I never really imagined, one, that I would come here, and two, that I would stay here so long. It's already been about 2 decades. But I wouldn't recommend most of you guys do things that way, but I just kind of like dived straight in the deep end and hoped for the best a little bit. Interestingly, 2007 we went to South Korea. Our thinking then was that, well, we're still quite young. I still got an opportunity to go and experience another country, and at that time, my wife was a big fan of K-dramas. So again, I was kind of like, let's go for it. So later, we spent 2 years in a city called Dongjucheon, really close to the border with North Korea in Gyeonggi province. And then we decided to go back for a second spell. I'll just add that we had our first child during that little stint, that first stint in South Korea. Then we went back for 2 years. We stayed in another city closer to Seoul called Guri, had a really good time there. And I suppose we could have stayed there longer. We had a really kind of cushy lifestyle there. If you were single, you had no family commitments, and you didn't really have a lot of ambition in life, then I suppose you could just work in ESL until your 60s, until you're ready to retire. But for me, ESL was always a stepping stone for something greater. And then fast forward to around the year 2018. The media organisation Chongqing was set up, and from the beginning, I was watching their videos, and I was always thinking, I've been in Chongqing so long, I've seen so many changes, so many developments here, which we'll go into a lot in the future, I'm sure. I really felt that I have a lot of experience that I can share with this platform. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this camera off. We're going to find the beginning of it, and then we're going to talk about the next thing, which is my YouTube channel. So why have I started it only now? But anyway, I'm going to locate the foot of these steps, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so catch you in a moment. Okay, it took a bit of searching, but we finally came to the right place. So this is the Sanxia Qicheng. As you can see, the English name written here is the Three Gorges Ladder City. And this is a 4A national tourist attraction. I've known about this place for a long time. I've actually been to the top of the mountain a couple of times in the past to make some videos, but this is the first time I've attempted to climb right from the bottom all the way up to the top. And like I said, it's a flight of 1,999 steps, but I think this is like the biggest kind of flight of inner city steps in the world, or in Asia, something like that. But anyway, I'm going to start climbing this now. We can see the first flight here. Do just think we can reach the top there, and that's the end of it. No, this is just the beginning. This is like a mini warm-up. And also going to tell you a little bit about why I've decided to set up this YouTube channel, and why so late as well. You know, YouTube has been around for a long time, so it's safe to say I'm very late to the party. But I set up my own website, and it was mostly like a blog with like photographs I took in and around the city, and I was mostly just talking about my experiences, general experiences of life in the city. And you know, it's kind of like a hodgepodge, if you like. I was talking about experiences of marriage here, you know, relationships, also travel destinations, recreation, food, local customs, culture, language, you name it. I was kind of covering it. And I suppose at that time there were a couple of reasons, reasons why I didn't go for it at that time. So one was obviously, you know, I had that time, I had like relatively little experience with you know, filming videos and editing. And another issue I had was that I had a second daughter who was born in 2017, and really between working and family commitments, I didn't really have a lot of extra time to spend, you know, to go out, you know, filming videos for like hours, and then spending a lot of time on editing. Then later, you know, I entered actually into the media industry, and it was really from the word go. You know, I actually had the opportunity to really go out there, take some videos with some of the DJI gear. But you know, now, because you know, I go out and do presenting, do vlogs, you know, on such a regular basis, that you know, really kind of feels a lot more natural to me nowadays. And also my second daughter, she's getting on for 6 years old now. So she's kind of reached the age. It's a nice age, you know, because they're still very close to you, always, you know, really happy to see you. I really love that. But at the same time, you know, she's also a bit more independent and safety conscious. So we're kind of at the point now where in the evenings, if she wants to go downstairs, hop on a scooter, go and look for some friends, go and call at a friend's apartment, she can do that by herself. You know, she also has one of those smart wristwatches, so you know, we can track her. So I think now I've really reached the point where I kind of have the fundamentals of filming and editing all more or less covered. And also now my younger daughter is a bit older and a bit more independent. I really feel like I can come out and spend more time making videos for you guys. As the future goes along, I really hope we can get some more interaction going, and whatever you guys want to know about life on the ground here in southwestern China. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future holds for us. Over the past couple of years, I have really paid attention to some of the other big, you know, vlogging channels out there, and you know, especially some others in China who have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And then casting my net, you know, a little bit further, I've also, you know, had a look at some of the YouTube superstars. Apart from taking ideas from them, you know, I've also got to try and do something a little bit different, maybe follow my own passions. So if I do that, then it's going to be a lot easier for me to continue this channel in the long term, because I really hope this is the start of a beautiful relationship for us. I know I'm starting late, maybe a late bloomer if you like when it comes to YouTube, but hopefully we can do this for many years to come, and I can show you some amazing trails, first here in Chongqing, and then if the subscriber base grows, maybe we can broaden horizons. We can move to other parts of China, and who knows, the sky's the limit. We could technically go anywhere in the world. And another thing I want to do that's different is that in each video, I have 20 years of experience with life in China. So I really think I now have a lot of information, practical information I can share with you guys. So my thinking is wherever I go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set like a little topic. It could be anything. And again, it could be marriage, it could be food, it could be topical issues, it could be technology, it could be big events, so cool experiences I've had recently. When it comes to life in China, I don't just want to show you the bright side. I mean, I love living here. The people here are fantastic. I've always had a great experience. People have been so good to me here. I'm really very privileged to have had this experience in life. But at the same time, I want to give you a balanced picture. I'm going to bring you the good, the bad and the ugly, really about everything. But in a very constructive way. When it comes to things that are perhaps negative, I'd maybe try to explain some background. Why do people do things this way, or maybe in the future, what can they do differently, and what examples have there been in the past where maybe things were very inefficient or not user friendly, but things changed as times and technology progressed. But in the future, it won't be like this. I'll try to focus on one topic and keep it very concise for you guys. Right, let's cross over here. Try not to get run over. Right, it's not so busy now. When I first set out this morning, it was the middle of rush hour. But I suppose it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours later. So things are a lot more quiet. I haven't bumped into many locals yet. I mean, they definitely noticed me. I've had a lot of stares because in recent years there haven't really been that many foreigners around. I live in Yubei district, and it's a big rarity to bump into another foreigner nowadays. Not that that bothers me really, because I'm so settled here. I speak the language. We'll go into that in the future. I'll give you a lot of tips. Also, a lot of family and friends, so it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, plus if you add, having all of this equipment and this bright turquoise, t-shirt on, yeah, I kind of stand out like a sore thumb here. But on the other hand, because of the weather, there are not many people around, because I suppose being from England, we really have that spirit that we can go out and do stuff, come rain, hail or shine. I really love that. But over here, to be honest, particularly when it comes to parents or grandparents looking after children or grandchildren, they're terrified of getting a cold. So if the temperatures dropped a little bit, maybe 2 weeks ago, it was still kind of up in the mid-30s, so it's definitely cooled down a lot, but nothing ridiculous. But even so, if you get a day like this, when the weather's cooled down quite a lot, people are going to kind of stay indoors more. So on this walk today, I've barely bumped into anybody at all. What is Yunyang famous for? Well, of course, you might notice that the city looks relatively new. I mean, I say relatively, some of these buildings high up on the hills, maybe been around a couple of decades. But actually the old city of Yunyang was submerged by the Three Gorges Reservoir, and the city was rebuilt on higher land. I'd have to say, honestly, I think they've done a good job with it. It's not necessarily the case in all cities I've visited in the area. But in Yunyang, I think they had a lot of foresight in their planning. I mean, they've really landscaped that Riverside Park beautifully. They've got lots of sports parks up there, basketball courts, so football fields, you name it. They've got it all. Then also that Riverside Park is part of a new feature of the city, which is called the 33-kilometre circular greenway. So it's like a circular loop. It's very wide, you can walk on there. They've got space for jogging. People can go cycling. Because around these mountains, like the one we're climbing now, the terrain is fairly flat. So if you go onto the greenway for the whole 33 kilometers, you don't really get any steep climbs or anything. What else is Yunyang famous for? I suppose it's the Zhangfei Temple. The original site has long been submerged by the Three Gorges Reservoir. So what they did was they took it apart. They of course chose a new location for it on the other side of the Yangtze, and really piece by piece they I don't know how they did it, but they dismantled all of the flooring, the walls, and just moved it piece by piece to the other side of the river. And it's done such a good job that if the tour guide didn't tell you that it was moved, and you would just assume it's always been there. I mean, that's how much of a good job they did with it. Right, I can tell you we've made it almost to the top. Yeah, so this spot is very familiar. And what's different about it? They've painted the front of each step, so as you're walking up, you can now kind of make out an image. I don't know if you can recognize it, but this is like an official mascot for Yunyang County. Because, in the past couple of years, the infrastructure in Chongqing has improved so much that it's made a lot of these counties and districts that used to be very inaccessible. They're now very easy to travel to, whether it's driving or going by bullet train or whatever. So they've been putting a lot of effort into promoting local tourism, and as part of that, they've really tried to brand, a lot of their products, and even the whole county itself. So this mascot, they have a name for it. It's called the Xingyun Tu. What else? I suppose if I had to give you one more, it would have to be the Longgang scenic area. So at the moment, it takes over an hour, maybe around an hour to drive there, and you get amazing scenery. I mean, it's got I think it's called the deepest pit. So it's kind of like a circular pit in the middle of a mountain or something like that. But it's 350 meters deep, and it's a vertical drop. You have a lot of minority culture, because you have a lot of Tujia minority people living in this county. And then also they have the big swing up there. Which I think it holds a Guinness World Record. I think it's the biggest swing in the world. But anyway, these are the last few steps. I haven't bothered counting them on my way up, but I'll assume they're right. Or actually, a bit further ahead, there's a bit more. Maybe I ought to climb those just to make sure. All right, let's go through the archway. All right. These should be the final steps. So we'll go up to the top, we'll say a couple of last words, and then we'll call it a day for this video. Okay, let's go do this. But here we are, we've made it. So there aren't any more steps on the ladder. So for Trek China, the first video, we can tick this one off. We've completed together the Yunyang County City Ladder. We've got a little viewing platform over here. Let's just go and take a look at this. And actually up here we have a really good view over the city. And it looks even greater when you've got these cloud lines drifting over. But let's turn this around. There we go. You can see down at the bottom there's a little peninsula. And it is possible to go on that walkway we started on and go right down to the end. And then in that direction, this is more to the north. If we go in that direction, we have the motorway bridge, and beyond that we also have the high-speed rail station. Right, so I think that's about it then. We have got like a little convenience store here. Right, some like little snacks and little trinkets. Okay, this is mostly kids stuff like blowing bubbles, the QQ sweets, ice cream, like hot dogs. But like I said, I've lost a lot of weight, so these are kind of on the forbidden list of foods and drink for me nowadays. Right, so that's going to be the end of the video, I think, for today. I really want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you would like to know about life in Chongqing or China in general, and I'll try to make it the topic of one of my treks. All right, so from Yunyang County, it's goodbye from me, and I will see you again next time.